is Bon Hernandez. I've been an environmental activist for more than 30 years. Currently, I'm the global coordinator of Break Free from Plastic. It's a global movement of more than 2,600 organizations around the world, representing millions of individuals who believe in a future that is free from plastic pollution. I've been working on waste and toxics pollution issues since my early days as an environmental activist. Having been in the environmental movement for more than 30 years, one recognition I've had is that the environment is a survival issue for many people, especially for developing countries like the Philippines, where we experience almost on a daily basis that a safe and healthy environment is required to be able to provide effectively for our other human needs, right? Including the most basic ones: food, water, clean air, and the fact that all other human activities, including economic development, depends on having a safe and healthy environment. And the fact that now we have been experiencing more and more the consequences of the destruction of the climate, the destruction of the planet. That message of the environment being a survival issue is, I think, becoming obvious to most people. In the current work that we're doing in Break Free from Plastic, our focus is to really work for policies and changes in corporate practice to reduce, if not eliminate, plastic pollution. And part of that is also recognizing that this issue is very much a climate issue as well. Not many people realize that 99% of plastics being deployed into commerce nowadays come from fossil fuels. And that means if we increase use and production of particularly single-use plastics, and that's bound to be a major contributor to the climate crisis. And part of our future plans in this regard is really challenging many of the myths and false narratives that serve to perpetuate the plastic pollution crisis. For example, the solutions that are being proposed by industry include things like burning plastics in so-called waste-to-energy plants, or co-processing them in cement kilns, and these are being offered as solutions to the crisis, perhaps even packaged as contributing to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Nothing could be further from the truth, and that's why, from our perspective, it's important to really push for real solutions to the crisis, in particular adoption of reuse and refill models, stopping the production of single-use plastics, and exposing these false solutions being offered by industry to be able to justify business as usual. Our work in the coming years would also include working with local communities so that they can implement what we call zero waste programs in line with our national laws, in particular the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act, which will also advance our goals around sustainable consumption and production. It also will involve shifting local and national policies towards the adoption and mainstreaming of real solutions, and effectively changing the narrative and climate of opinion around plastics pollution. The fact that this year the governments of the world have agreed to enter into a series of negotiations to develop a global treaty on plastics is an opportunity to engage with governments on really promoting and implementing real solutions to this crisis. I think, like I said, we have already entered this period of consequences when we talk of the climate emergency. The evidence has become undeniable, and almost on a regular basis, this bleak future that is being painted by these unfolding scenarios is looming before us. However, I have to say that this bleak future is certainly not inevitable, and that we still have a strong fighting chance to reverse the crisis, to reverse the ruin, and pursue alternative pathways. And that is our message to the youth, that it is down to us, especially the generation of young people alive today, to carry the torch to ensure that their survival and a safe and habitable planet for their generation and for future generations is still possible. And this is essentially the fight of our lives. One way we can do this is by organizing, challenging business as usual, and is practically one of the best ways that young people can do to be able to shape their future and influence their destinies. One writer I came across with said that, organizing is a kind of time travel, where basically you are doing something and reaching out into the future. You're doing something to influence the outcome of the future. So while there's challenges before us, there's disasters, there's greed, there's despair associated with many of our environmental threats. There are also islets of hope amid this ocean of despair and challenges. So to the young people out there, have the courage, the presence, and the persistence to confront root causes of problems we see today. Don't just address the symptoms, and really recognize that in most cases, the environmental crisis that is confronting all of us is really systemic in nature. And therefore, we must venture forth to push for systemic changes, despite the many distractions that we face today, and also the ongoing destruction, already undermining our collective future.